If you're going to read through a transcript or a document in order to make comments or annotate on it, it is best to take the transcript or document out of the detail view. So at the moment I have focus group 1 open in the detail view, and I'm going to go up to window here and untick where it says docked so that it will open up in its own window. I can also change the layout by clicking on View and Layout, so I have it in page layout form. So therefore, this transcript now looks very much like the way it would look if it was open in Word. So it's much easier to read and to comment and use annotations on. So I've been scrolling through this transcript, immersing myself in it, reminding myself what they discussed during the focus group, and commenting on issues that I find interesting. So here, for example, Russell is saying that he's surprised by something he sees on the Manchester website. So he says it's this picture, something you wouldn't expect to see in a university that's intriguing. And I asked him to describe the picture, and basically he says it's high tech. And so he said he wouldn't expect that in a university. So I'm just going to add an annotation here. So to add an annotation is to highlight the word or phrase that you want to attach the annotation to. And as usual in NVivo, there's more than one way to do the same thing. And I'm just going to use the links toolbar. The links toolbar, by the way, I have moved down to the bottom here. Normally it is up at the top with the other toolbars, but I find it easier to work with at the bottom. It's up to you whether you keep it at the top, or if you want to move it. You can see where there are 4 little dots there, and as I hover over it, my cursor turns into a 4-headed arrow, and once it does that, then I can drag it to wherever I want to and just tuck it in there. So there are 5 little tools here, and the middle one, as you can see as I hover over it, is when you want to create a new annotation. So I'll click on that, and you can see immediately the annotation window opens up at the bottom of the transcript, and I'll just type that Russell does not expect to see high-tech pictures on a university website. And I'll just say interesting that universities are not associated with high tech. Possibly not associated with innovations. So that's just a little comment there. And when I remove my cursor from the words high tech, you can see that those words are now highlighted in blue, which indicates that there's an annotation linked to it. As I read on, I can see that Russell goes on to say that he has a very different image of universities, and it's really based on the images of Oxford and Cambridge, of big stone Gothic buildings. And they don't look like they'd have high-tech stuff like that. So I think that's also interesting. So I'll attach another annotation to big stone Gothic buildings. So interesting that universities are associated by their physical appearance. Big stone Gothic buildings means old-fashioned. Definitely not high-tech. So that's something about images of university by their physical look. So again, that's my second annotation there. So the annotations are hyperlinked. As you can see, when I click on high-tech there, it selects number 1, which is the annotation that's linked to that word. And if I click Big Stone Gothic Buildings, it selects number 2. And the hyperlink works both ways. If I click on 1 there, you can see how I can see that annotation 1 is linked to the word high-tech up there because it's highlighted in blue. As when I click on 2, you can see how Big Stone Gothic Buildings is associated with annotation 2. Now, what's really nice about these annotations, they're hyperlinks when they're within NVivo, but if I print this out and or if I export it out into Word, they come out as endnotes. So if I just show you in print preview what that would look like. So here I have ticked here that I want to see the annotations. And right, so this is quite a long focus group here. So if I just scroll down to where I think, let's see what's on page 13. Maybe up there, I think. So you can see here in the print preview that NVivo has put a superscript 1 next to the phrase high-tech and a superscript 2 next to the phrase Big Stone Gothic Buildings. And if I scroll right down to the end, you can see how they are listed as annotations, and I can see how I've commented on that bit of text. I'll just close that down now. If I wanted to export this transcript with its annotations, I would go into Project, Export Document, and you can see I have annotations ticked there. And if I click OK, you can see my choices. I can save it as a Word document, including a Word docx document, as a rich text format, as a PDF, or as a web page. So I have quite a few choices, and my annotations would come out. And just so that you know that the annotations are listed in the links area, in the navigation view, you can see there's an area for annotations, so that they're not lost in hyperspace, as it were. So I can go into the links area in NVivo and see what annotations I have in my project, and I can access them this way as well.